Hey everyone, my name is Skyler.
And my name is Tyler.
And we're the hosts of Bird Talk here for the second episode of the season.
Yeah. So we have three new guests. This Zane Devon Miller, and Michael Simpson, and they're gonna talk about what their subgroups are all about. Let's just get to know them first. Michael, what was your experience with the team?
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Simpson, and I'm the current CTO on the Buchanan Robotics team. Fun fact, last year I was actually one of the podcast hosts here with the team, and this is my fourth year here with the team, and it's been pretty great. I've done all kinds of jobs, done all sorts of things. I've done everything from gardening to cleaning to assembly to CAD and touching up on my programming, and it's been a great 4 years with the team.
So what got you just into robotics in general?
Definitely it was my buddy Christian. He's also on the team as well. He was actually the other podcast host last year, and he got me in our freshman year. He joined the team, and he said it was super cool, and he convinced me to join too, and I've been stuck here ever since.
Have you always been part of Fabrication?
When I first joined the team, I went with the programming subgroup, but I found out that it's kind of hard to program when you don't have your own laptop. So eventually I moved to Fabrication, and I kind of found my true calling there working with my hands. And I just fell in love with the subgroup and the way we work. Talking about Fabrication, here with us today, we also have our Fabrication director, Zane.
Hi guys, I'm Zane. Yeah, as Michael said, I'm the director of Fabrication. This is actually my second year on the team. I joined the team last year as a junior. Before that, I'd been playing water polo, but it just wasn't for me. So I decided I'm going to join the robotics team. And I actually did it for extra credit in my AP biology class. But it turns out that I really enjoyed robotics, and quickly, just from asking people how to run this machine, how to build this thing. And eventually I built up a really decent sized knowledge set where I could become the director of Fabrication.
And then the last guest we have with us here is Devon Miller.
Hi guys, I'm also a second year on the team, but I am a junior, so I joined as a sophomore. I am also a part of Fabrication, so all three of us are Fab members. We love working in the shop, working with machinery, working on that robot. We get it all done. And I'm in charge of the Innovation Challenge this year. So there are three parts to this new season. There's the Game Design Challenge, there is the Infinite Recharge at Home, and then there's the Innovation Challenge. So what the Innovation Challenge is that we have to come up with a real world solution and come up with a solution for us to solve it. So it's very similar to the first LEGO League Innovation Project, or for those who weren't in FLL, it's like science fair. So it's pretty simple and it's a lot of information. There's the Global Innovation Awards, which there's also that, and there's also the Game Design Award. So that challenges teams to design a new FRC game, and you can also compete for an extra award with that if you incorporate a chain somehow. So good luck to all the teams out there with that.
Okay, so thank you, Devon. Now we're going to have Michael talk about just a bit more about ST, adding on to what I kind of discussed last week and how they're dealing with this season and the challenges they're facing.
I'm just going to give a quick brief rundown of different subgroups, what they are, and what we're doing here at home with everything going on and out in the world. We've got Fabrication, which is like our main building subgroup. They do all of our assembly and manufacturing of parts. And they've been doing, or all of our subgroups have been holding virtual meetings and all using creative ways to help train new members and push through the season so we can complete some of the challenges. Fabrication, they've been using different manuals from different teams that they can find to help train new students, to help get new students more understanding about what different machines are going to be like once they get into our shop and once they can start using our machines. We've got our CAD team. They do our basic designs and everything related onto the computers about designing the robot and how we're going to complete challenges. They've been practicing and training the new students on how the program works. They use SolidWorks for their CAD software, and they've been training new students on how to use it. And we plan on using that software and the new training with the students to design a swerve drive base, which is something that our team has not accomplished yet. But we are very, very interested in pushing to create one. And we're definitely using some of this year's extra time that we have to focus in and really start designing our own swerve drive base. And also, along with SolidWorks, they use a program called GrabCAD that they use to share virtually all of the parts and things they've created in SolidWorks. We've got our electronics subgroup, which is also training new members, and they use a virtual program that they can simulate a lot of the electronic parts that we use on our robots, and they can actually have the kids have somewhat of a hands-on experience, really working with the parts and setting up the different electronics and pneumatics that we would usually use on our robots. So it's great for training, and we hope that the kids are really enjoying that more than just a normal Zoom meeting. We've got our programming team, which has been focused on, again, training new students virtually, also working on a new code system for not only the Swerve drive base we plan to design, but also for completing the AutoNav autonomous skills challenge that we have going on this year. So they're programming our old robot, or our robot we're currently using, to complete the AutoNav challenge. And then our last subgroup, strategy, has been training students on what game strategy is, and also like introducing them into the community aspect of strategy, which is working with other teams, creating alliances at competition, and understanding what really goes into building a strong alliance when you get the opportunity, so you can really go at it at a competition.
Well, there's also a lot of skills challenges that we compete in. In Infinite Recharge at Home, there's a few skills challenges. One is Galactic Search, where our robot is challenged to autonomously find multiple balls, which really is challenging for our programming team, since the balls can be in different spots. They're not always going to be in the same spot, which means that our robot has to be able to adapt to those challenges. And in the AutoNav challenge, we have to go through a specific path. So that really tests our programming team's ability to allow our robot to follow this set path as fast as possible. So making more efficient code and making this code the best it possibly could be. And then in Hyperdrive, our team's challenged to teleoperate. That's a hard word. Teleoperate the bot and go through that same specific path, which challenges the driver's ability to go through these challenges. But there's also a few more challenges, like the Interstellar Accuracy Challenge. And then in that challenge, we have to fire balls from different zones, and we get awarded points for our accuracy and distance. But there is something that we can do there that our strategy team really has to look into and has been looking into, and that's whether or not we should use a 2D or a 3D Powerport. Because in this year, to adapt to the challenges of COVID and all the challenges it brings to FRC, you can use either a 2D or a 3D Powerport. And there's different pros and cons, especially with scoring, that would make us want to maybe use the 2D Powerport despite us already having a 3D Powerport built. So that's some of the conversations we have to have on this team to make sure that we're really going into this season prepared and ready. And finally, there's the Powerport Challenge, where we have to score the highest amount of power cells in 1 minute, which will really be pretty much the closest to the game that we can possibly get, and will really challenge us to have a full, complete robot that can overcome these challenges. And one of those challenges that we need to overcome is having a fast and effective intake, which is something that we were working on at the end of last season, but never finished. And Michael can talk a little bit about what we're doing to get this intake ready and prepared for this season.
So this season, we've got a few directors, each from their respective subgroups here on the ST side, really streamlined focus on getting a really good intake so we can compete competitively in some of these skills challenges. That's mainly being led by our strategy and our CAD subgroups, because they're going to be playing the biggest role in designing a very effective intake for the robot this year, which will then be followed up by the fabrication team building it and assembling it onto the robot once we do have the chance to get our hands on the robot.
Yeah, and to do this, we've looked at a lot of other teams. We've looked at teams like 254 and really good teams that have demonstrated that they know what they're doing in FRC, to see what kind of ideas they're working with. And we've looked at a lot of different designs, saw how they work. So we've made some simulations in SolidWorks to see how some of these designs would work. And we're weighing the pros and cons of these different designs to figure out what the best solution is for us. Because with the challenges of the pandemic, we have to figure out something that we can build fast and simply, that won't cause too many problems, because we don't know how much time we're going to have in the shop. So we have to adapt to those challenges. Aside from the intake, we're also competing in a lot of different judged awards. There's the Autonomous Award, the Excellence in Engineering Award, the Industrial Design Award, and the Quality Award. And these are really going to test our ability to design virtually. because a lot of teams already have their robots completed and ready to go for this season. And we still have some work to do. And that will really give us the opportunity to really compete for these awards and test our ability to adapt to the challenges that the pandemic has brought us.
Yeah, thank you, Zane, Devin, and Michael, for coming on. That was really informative for the people who are watching who aren't really like informed with what's going on with most of the subgroups. And yeah.
All right. Well, that will conclude the podcast for this week. This is Skyler and Tyler signing off.
Signing off.